I was drafted April the 15th, 1941. Now that's 6 months, approximately 6 months, 7 months before the Japanese bombed Hawaii. So in those days, the common thought of the average citizen here was that we do not want to get involved in the war because of Germany. That, in fact, my own family didn't want to get involved because of German ancestors that I have. So when I got into the service, we were put into a non-combat engineer corps, and they emphasized the non-combat. My sergeant had thick glasses, and we were on jungle maneuvers. So he came to me when we were out there. You go so many yards, and you see a tree or an identical thing, then you take a 90-degree angle. He couldn't read the compass. How'd you like to go jungle fighting? The guy can't read the compass. Wow. Not that he was ignorant, or I don't know, but he had thick glasses, and in the Army, if you had something close to you, you were right. So that, right away when he said that, I said, I'm getting out of this outfit quickly. And luckily, the directives came to where I could get into the Air Corps. So anybody that was in the Air Corps, you couldn't qualify the size you were. They wanted 125 to 135, less than 6 feet tall. Then you were a crew. You could be in a crew. Not that you wanted to be, but they said, this is where you go, this is where you go. So after there, then I had a choice of school, mechanic school or radio school. I selected radio school, which I'm glad I did. And that's how I survived and saw a lot. And I'm still here, and I've beat the odds since I'm 98. The toughest mission we got caught on, we were shot at and had bullet holes and etc. Several times. About I think one of our men had said there was 40% of the time that of the 30 we had some kind of shrapnel hit on our plane. So it could have been one piece like it was where I was lucky enough and survived. But then the worst one was, our worst mission was number 3, was over Iwo Jima. That was our third mission. We were part of about 24 bombers. We were not the lead plane. We had just dropped the bomb, and they opened up on us before we even got there. But I was on the waist gunner, and next thing I knew, we were hit, and it took our engine, and we had to feather that, and smoke was coming out of that one. I didn't know what it was on, but when I got up off the floor, I looked over, and the man the crew to our left, he was hit right in the bum. It was open. He slid under us. He just missed us about, I figured, 20 feet. Otherwise, he'd have rammed us right there. But we made it. They went down in the water. I watched them that far, but then again, you can't watch them. I had to watch for it. They had about 8 to a dozen fighter planes, Japanese fighters, waiting for us. So they took off after this guy that was wounded. They went to drink, but we only had 3 engines to go, so we had to drop out of formation too. So our job was to watch for those other planes. And luckily, they were concentrated on the one that went down the ocean, and there were 2 or 3 Jap planes followed him down. And luckily they didn't go after us, though we were out of formation on it. Then as farther we went, some of the other our crew, our planes, dropped back, protecting us. And then after we had to feather the engine, and we on 3 engines and fighting the wind, we threw all the extra stuff we had overboard so we could lighten the plane. And luckily we did that, because we did get home to base. But when we got home to base, I was on radio. So then when we got close to the Saipan, where our airfield was, we didn't know if we had control of the flaps or anything. We had controls to where we leveled off. Luckily, we could do that he could level the plane and come in on the runway. But the problem was when we got there, the plane behind us was burning and they had wounded people on it. So the tower was telling the other plane to go around again and let us through. He said, hell no, we're coming in. So they were right on our tail as we landed and we landed. Now we found out that we didn't have a tire, the whole wheel was gone. All we had was a peg. I wouldn't trade. I met so many good people and trained, and what they did, if I had my way, every kid got his high school diploma, then 2 days later he'd be in the service. He'd be in the Marines or one of our service on it. What they did, they took the kid out of you and made a man out of you. They took your head off and screwed it on right. You're voted because of guys like myself. And don't forget that. Tell your friends and your kids that the guys that I see go down didn't get to come home. That's what they sacrificed. They gave their life. I was lucky.